Facebook page. There was a story in CNN. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. CNN posted a story that there was 70. There was a showing. I think I'm not sure if this was. Oh, it was in Washington D.C. The original asking price was, it was a suburb fixer upper. The original asking price was $275. They had 88 offers. 76 of them were all cash, and the house went for $460,000. I mean, that's literally what's going on. So I posted that.
Wow.
Posted that story to our Facebook page.
I do think that we need to tell people not to go insane, because the house is not going to be worth that.
Right. So that, I mean, that ultimately, and Jerome just fell off, but maybe Conrad and Chris can hit this. I mean, that becomes the next thing. I mean, you're buying, Jerome's there. You're buying whatever home you're buying now is at a higher price, and now Carolyn might have mentioned about it going underwater at that point, because the market's going to change. And if you try and refi later, Jerome, if you can touch base on that just a little, what are the ramifications of buying a property now and then look at this thing 5-6 years down the road? What do you end up being handcuffed with?
Yeah, I mean, great discussion. I don't know that there's going to be a crash, but mark my words, there will be a correction. And
right.
That correction just means you're not having 80 offers on a home. Okay,
Right.
The market will correct. And so, yes, if you start out with a house asking $275 and somebody ends up paying $475, you got to believe, unless they're so wealthy that they're going to be upside down eventually in the market, in their mortgage, and whatever. So we've learned a lot from the crash of the last time. So the risky mortgages are gone. You're not getting people with, unqualified.
Right. Yeah, and that's huge. That's a huge difference.
Right.
Yeah,
Sketchy underwriting practices.
Yeah, but the fact is, these numbers, you wonder if they're sustainable, and you worry about people getting into a situation that they can't get out of. Judy mentioned something earlier, and I think getting back on topic here, what's our message to the people we're trying to help? As much as you could argue it, maybe it's time to sit out. And if you're an FHA buyer or a 3% buyer, what should you be doing while you're sitting out?
Oh, I love it. That's a really good point, Jerome.
And maybe we have that message.
So let me throw this one out, because reading this story here, the market said 275 and the house ended up being 460. So I asked Jerome about the mortgage implications, but Carolyn and Connie. So here's something just to think about. Or maybe you can elaborate on this thought that jumped into my head. When you're buying the house, there's a difference between buying the house and looking at the neighborhood. Like, for example, Bridgeport, the home prices in Bridgeport have been rising prior to COVID. That was already happening because it's an emerging town being connected to Conshohocken, West Conchie. That sprawl starting to come out here. So, if you're looking at that home, there's a difference between a bidding war on a home and a bidding war in a neighborhood that might sustain that appraisal or that market value going forward. Am I wrong thinking that, or is that a tactic or something to consider?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, that example that you gave, it's not going to appraise that money, so they'd have to have some deep pockets to pay the difference. So whatever the mortgage amount is, and that money's at risk, and it's against their future appreciation. So if prices are going up normally a certain percentage every year and you've overpaid, it's going to take you a few years to catch up. And then, 10 years out, your total appreciation will not be as high as someone who bought at a fair price. If you stay long enough, you'll be okay. If you thought you were only going to stay 2 years, you might not be okay.